Welcome in Cameron Lawrence, Tyler Plath, doing another draft with you all. Glad that you guys can join us. We'll be over on Underdog Fantasy tonight. I missed last week's, so it's good to be back. Aiden, hello. Baseball Forever, hello. Good to see you guys. Glad you guys could join us today. We're going to be doing a puppy on Underdog Fantasy. Ty, it's been a while since we've had a stream that lines up with a puppy draft out there. So it's kind of fun to bring one out.
No, and the puppy is where the real drafters are. We like our Best Ball Mania 5 drafts, but hey, when you can do 3 puppies in a day, you feel like you climb Mount Everest. And especially with how the puppies have been going for me, at least, I'm having a lot of success with them, and I'm kind of hoping to bring that kind of luck into tonight.
100%, and that's one of the reasons we're doing the puppy, because like you said, it's $5. It's a $5 entry versus 25 on Best Ball Mania 5. So we're hoping a couple of you guys can join us over there in Underdog Fantasy. We'll start here in about a minute, 2 minutes. Gilbert, I almost said Gabriel. Gilbert, ooh, I can't read. Gilbert, good to see you. Glad you're here.
We need
along with us.
Ready?
Is it best ball, Aiden? It is baseball, or best ball, not baseball. It is best ball. I am just losing it already tonight. This is it is best ball. It's a $5 entry over on Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't signed up yet, code fellas. It'll get you up to $1,000 in bonus money, $1,000 match they're doing right now, which is crazy, and a free square. Use code fellas and our 2024 free draft guide for free on top of all that. And we put a lot of work on that draft guide, so we're pretty proud of it. But head on over there quick. Like I said, we'll start in about 30 seconds here. And if you time it up with us, when I say we're going to start and you hit start at the same time, more than likely you'll be in the same draft as us, unless we're entering a draft that's already pretty full, which hopefully we can get a couple of you guys in here. Hopefully you don't stream or stream snipe us, but you know.
The beauty about the puppy, though, is that even if you're not able to do it tonight, you can do a slow draft where you have 8-hour timers, and then it goes up to 12 overnight, so you don't get auto picked overnight and stuff. That is super nice. And they're 20-second timers too, so these things get done really quick when everyone is drafting. And especially, for us, when it comes to Underdog, we've said this before, this is how we get a feel for how our home leagues are going to draft, though, because these ADPs are constantly changing based on demands and people's, their takes and their projections just on training camp and stuff like that. So even if you don't want to do the 20-second clocks, right, where you have to be on your phone the whole time, do the 8-hour ones. Nothing really changes except you've just got an 8-hour buffer instead of having to pick in 20 seconds.
For sure. And we considered doing an 8-hour clock for the stream, but we just didn't know if you guys really wanted to hang out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we decided to just keep it to the 20-second clock. But we'll get started here in about 15 seconds. So I'll count us down for 5 once we do. If you want to try and join us, we're doing the Puppy 3 again over on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code fellas if you want to sign up. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I forgot.
Forgot that. The confirmation.
4 people if you want to try and join us over there on Underdog. We're waiting for. But yeah, Ty, prediction. What spot are we tonight?
108.
108. I'm gonna go. I think it's a 102 kind of night. I do. I think it's a 102 kind of night.
Okay, let's see what do we got.
Come on, baby. 101. Oh, shoot. I forgot. My bad. My screen is about 3 to 5 seconds faster than your guys' screen. So I knew it before you did. I spoiled the surprise. That is my bad. 101, Ty. 101.
Hey, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not mad about this.
No, 100%. We'll make this first pick, and then we'll answer a couple of your guys' questions because I see them flying in here.
But actually, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, is there any question at the 105 or at the 101? Like, are you? I with you.
Went over to the comments and be like, "Hey, tell us who we should take," because I say it's McCaffrey. Some people think it's CD. Some people say Tyreek even. So I'm curious what the chat thinks. So let us know. Let us know what
you got 20 seconds, chat,
do.
if you want someone other than Christian McCaffrey, because that's the way me and Ty lean. So I don't see anything flying in yet. So I'll prepare this pick. But I think it's pretty easily Christian McCaffrey for the two of us. Gilbert agrees. Gotta be Christian McCaffrey. Let's fly through a couple of these questions as Tyreek Hill goes off the board first. We can start back up here with just your average Devin. Jefferson, Olave, Rashard White, Chubba Hubba, Debo, McBride, McLaurin, Steelers defense, and Dustin Hopkins at your kicker for a 12-man league with Purdy at the QB position. I think this one also goes with a full PPR 6th pick. How you feel? I mean, Jefferson, I think, is the right pick there at 6. Right?
Yeah.
We like that one. Olave is a good 2nd-round pick. Debo, I assume, in the 3rd.
Yeah, probably Debo in the 3rd. Maybe Rashad White in the 5th.
McBride, McBride in the 4th. I like that start. No, 100%. I mean, you're going to be solid. Your running back position is the only spot that you're going to worry about, right? Having know Hubbard as your 2. That's going to be your weak spot. You've got a good team. Obviously, you got great wide receiver room, good tight end. Purdy's going to be a solid enough quarterback. I think we're both a little lower on Purdy this year, but he's still a solid option at the QB position.
Well, and you have Debo too, so you've got a little Niner stack going. So that definitely improves the outlook for Purdy then.
For sure. Aiden, I've been stressing this a lot. Who do you think I should take? I have the 10th pick and a 12-man. Well, on this 10th pick, we just had Garrett Wilson go. We both I like that pick at the 10. If I can get any of those 9 guys who are going before him, like AJ Brown, Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, Amon-Ra, for some reason one of those guys fall, obviously that's the priority. But let's say they don't. You got the Garrett Wilsons, Puka, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor there, Ty. Who do you like at the 10th pick?
I kind of lean Garrett Wilson just because I think you have a really good chance of what feels then like the next 3 or 4 running backs coming back around to you then in the 2nd round. And even if you don't, do you then reach on a guy like Achane? Maybe just kind of upside at that point. But that 2nd round pick, if those, I want to say Gibbs, JT, Saquon, are we going to throw in, who am I forgetting? Kyron? Are we going to throw a Kyron in there? If all those 4 guys go, I seriously question the 11th and 12th pick people, because then they are both starting double running back. So I think I would agree. Garrett Wilson feels like the 10th pick. And even, I guess I forgot, if the 2 teams after you do go double running back, you've got Puka Nacua coming back to you. So that's a pretty, I think Garrett Wilson should be the pick there.
For sure. All right, let's prepare for our pick quick, and then we can answer some more questions because we got back-to-back here. On the board, guys like Chris Olave still there. Not bad. Cooper Kupp. Malik Neighbors shooting up draft boards. Kyron Williams, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Evans, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, Derrick Henry, DJ Diggs. What direction are you thinking here, Ty? And Kyron goes,
I think we honestly go Kupp Neighbors.
I don't hate that, and just not get cute with it. Just go. This is the start we like, or do we try a San Francisco stack?
You know what? Let's do the San Francisco stack. Okay. I think Neighbors is kind of a tough one because you don't want to. I mean, the possibility of him being just an absolute dude this year is there, but you don't necessarily it's more beneficial to have the stacks, the correlation, and having players on good offenses, and building your team out that way versus just trying to find the studs on mediocre to below average offenses. So I can understand an argument for Neighbors, but I think Ayuk is probably just the smarter pick in that at that time.
Yeah, because like realistically, the outcome for Neighbors could be Jamar Chase type season, right?
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, his quarterback's Daniel Jones, and it could be more similar rookie year to a Devonta Smith, right? Where Smith had a good rookie year, but he's the wide receiver 30. If Malik Neighbors is the wide receiver 30, we're taking him, you're very disappointed in fantasy football, even though it'd be a pretty good rookie season for him. But yeah, I agree. I think this means we're going to target Brock Purdy, which is good for me because I don't take a lot of Brock Purdy, right?
Yeah.
I usually need a reason to this year. I'm pretty out on him. But if I'm targeting that San Francisco stack, like you said, they're going to be a good team no matter what. For me, it's just how efficient is Brock Purdy going to be again? That's why I'm a little more out. But if we have CMC and Ayuk, Purdy is the way to go. Do you guys like 4 points per passing touchdown or 6 points per passing touchdown? This is one we don't get to talk about a lot. Some of the rules in that way. Can you explain, Ty, kind of why some people like 4, why some people like 6 points, and then which one you prefer?
So I think the best way to explain it is if you do have 6 points per passing touchdown, it just levels out the quarterback position a little bit more than it does with 4. It kind of, I don't want to say completely nullifies, but it lessens the impact of the rushing quarterbacks then, right? Your Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen's, Anthony Richardson's of the world. I don't think there's anything wrong with playing 6. It just puts more value on guys like CJ Stroud and Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Your Brock Purdy's of the world even too, right? That any quarterback that can hit 30 passing touchdowns, those guys get a significant bump in value because of that. Personally, I like the 4 point just because I think, again, there should be a I don't want to say large gap, but there should be a sizable gap between our pocket passers and our rushing quarterbacks that there should be an advantage to having a different skill set at the quarterback position. So personally, I like the 4 over the 6, but I've played in both. I find myself going, well, if it's 6 points per passing touchdown, I'm just going to wait till round 9 or 10 and then just take a Brock Purdy, a Tua, a Dak Prescott. If people don't take him earlier, those, I think that's then what I pivot to. But like I said, I prefer the 4 point.
For sure. I think the 6 almost feels like a good bridge if you want a super flex league, right? But your league is like, I'm not going to go to, because it gives a little more points to the quarterback position, right? It's not quite there. Obviously, you can't duplicate super flex league without doing super flex, but the 6 point kind of, because it's given Mahomes that much more value, right? It's giving him 60 plus more points a season or something like that. So I think it can be a decent bridge towards a super flex if you guys can't decide on it, but I agree. I like to stick with a 4 just because I think it overpowers the quarterback position a little much. Looking at the board here, T. Higgins, I know is a guy you like. George Pickens, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews. We could go with Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson stack if we really wanted to get cute with it.
Dude, if that Lamar Andrews stack is there, I feel like we have to take that.
Taking it here. I think I agree. Shall we?
Yeah. Shall we? We shall. I mean,
we shall.
You're getting top 5 quarterback, you're getting top 3 tight end, and like the tight end values in best ball, at least on Underdog, are kind of interesting because in redraft, you have to pay second round capital for a Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce. In best ball, they're both going early 4th. So it's not as steep of a price tag. So you can build up at wide receiver like some people, would prefer to do in a best ball format like this. But when you can still get in a Mark Andrews that was not outscored by either guy by more than a full point in scoring, and you get the quarterback, like that feels like a no-brainer.
Excuse me as I screw with our draft and mess everything up. Oh, come on, you stinking thing. It's give me issues. I'm trying to get our board a little bigger so we can see it.
Technical difficulties.
Trying to make it better for you guys. All right. That's my goal here. Yeah, if you want to pull up the next question, go ahead.
Yeah, Gilbert asked, in full PPR, how do you feel about getting 2 top-tier wide receivers instead of 1 top running back and 1 top wide receiver? So essentially going back-to-back wide receiver instead of splitting it. My quick initial thoughts, it really depends on where you're drafting from. I think if you're at the end, you should try to split. If you're at the beginning, you just kind of have to take whatever the board leaves you with in the second round. So you may want to try to go double wide receiver, but the wide receivers may go right in front of you, right? So then you're kind of left looking at like an ETN or an Achan, and you took, a Jefferson or somebody like that. So I think it really depends on where you go, but I think in general, I personally like to split it just because there are some really good running backs that go in the first 3 rounds, and I would rather not try to play the guessing game in the middle rounds, right? In rounds 4, 5, and 6 of who can be a viable running back 1 for me. So I personally like to split it, but I also understand that you may not be in a situation where you can, and you need to go 2 top tier wide receivers right off the rip.
100%. And I think that kind of ties into this. I'm in a 10, if you're in a 10-man league, 10th, 11th pick. If I'm sitting there, I like Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor. That would be my ideal start in a 10-man league for me, going 1 running back wide receiver. I prefer 1 running back wide receiver. Although if it's AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson there, I'm probably going to go to what, if one of those wide receivers falls, it's for some reason, like Amon-Ra's there or something like that. Yeah, I'm going to go 2 wide receivers. It's mostly best player available. If I'm like got 2 guys that are the same, I'm gonna go with a 1 wide receiver, 1 running back. And then real quick before our next one, what do you think of Derrick Henry this season?
Golly, I'm having a tough time coming around on Derrick Henry this year. It's changing to a new team that I think, yes, has the potential to put up more points than Tennessee did in his career, or in his time there. But at 30 years old, we kind of saw a drop off last year. Yes, maybe it was just kind of a situation, or I guess like schematic thing, but gosh, I have seen some people push him up into the second round of drafts, and I have a tough time buying into that.
For sure. Alrighty. We are coming up here in 2 picks. What direction? I mean, I was gonna say Kamara's right there, but I guess not anymore. What direction do we want to go? Do we want to get a running back, or are we just
Monty
if he's there? All right.
With our San Francisco pick so far.
Good call. Yep.
And of course, we don't get the feeling. Yeah.
Do we buy in that Brian Thomas hype, Ty? Are we good with that?
I think we go James Conner for sure, because we also have Cooper Kupp. So we've got a Rams Cardinals week 17 there.
Just NFC West.
Yeah.
Now, which direction? Stick with wide receiver here, I assume. That's kind of where I'm feeling.
6 and 9 are the buys that we have, right?
Yep.
Rams are 6, Niners. I'm cool going Brian Thomas or JSN. I prefer JSN, but I know that you are a big Brian Thomas guy. I do not mind going him here.
And I want to take the upside here, knowing, we got Kupp and Ayuk, who I don't know if they necessarily have, top 12, top 10 potential this year. I think they can both be very high-end wide receiver 2s from a fantasy perspective, right? Not from an NFL fantasy perspective. Whereas, JSN, I think a good season for JSN is around that wide receiver 20 mark, where I think if Brian Thomas truly becomes the wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville, I think there can be an explosion. Now, is it more likely that JSN is top 20 than Brian Thomas? Probably. But if we're playing best ball, I'm okay with taking that more variance week to week. So that is why I want to go Brian Thomas there.
And I think you could also make the argument too that JSN is probably going to be the more consistent guy between him and Brian Thomas, but Brian Thomas might give you 20 on a given week. JSN might be closer to probably like 16, 17 on a good week.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick question. DK Metcalf or Cooper Kupp? Who do you like more?
Gosh. I think oh man, it's honestly a coin flip. Because they go so close to each other no matter where you're drafting. Like best ball, Cooper Kupp is going at the end of the second, and DK is kind of a little more close. He's closer to like the middle of the third, if I'm not mistaken, but it's still pretty close. Redraft, they are right there, right next to each other. Like you cannot separate them. So honestly, I think it really depends on the build, but if I have to choose one between the two, I'm probably going to go Cooper Kupp. As much as I like DK Metcalf, I feel like Cooper Kupp's upside is top 10, or I could even push top 5, because this Rams offense likes to utilize Cooper Kupp.
That's true.
Versus DK, there are still relative question marks. It feels like, with DK, we like to say that we like to take a bet on DK Metcalf this year, but there is no sure thing of DK Metcalf, kind of pushing into that top 10 echelon of wide receivers.
For sure. Real quick, so if we're in a 12-man league, you're at the 3 pick. What are you usually targeting in those first 3 rounds? For me, that first pick, I'm taking one of CD, Tyreek Hill, or CMC. Right?
Yep.
That's who I'm taking first. I prefer the 1 running back, 2 wide receiver start. If I'm at the top 3 picks, I'm not touching tight end or quarterback in my first 3 rounds personally. I stay away. Just because it's such a long time to come back to that 4th pick, I'd rather go 2 running back, 1 wide receiver, or my real preferred is 1 running back, 2 wide receiver.
I think for me, I'm trying to grab at least 1 running back. Every now and then it works out in my favor that I can land like 2 of my favorite running backs. But more times than not, it's getting at least 1 running back and the other 2 being wide receivers.
For sure. All right. So we're sitting here. Brock's a ways down with a lot of quarterbacks up, Ty. So do we want to reach for Brock to ensure the stack, or are we good not having Brock here?
I wonder if we can try a push here, because
try and risk it a little.
I mean, let's check the board. We probably don't have time. I was going to say we have to go through the Debo and Kittle team. But who knows? Maybe he's still a little far enough away.
Well, he'll go because everybody's going to go no matter what.
Yeah. Before. I feel like we need to grab one more receiver, because like, we like Brian. Up to you.
I'm gonna go Sutton just because I'm on him. I'm Chase Brown, Tyjae Spears, or Brock Purdy here for me is kind of where I'm at.
I think we're good on running back for now.
So do we ensure the stack with Brock?
We probably.
Oh, we're gonna get auto picked. Oh, we got him. All right. So it is a reach, and I think. If we're not answering questions, we maybe are thinking about that pick a little bit more. Could have gone wide receiver there and just really knocked down the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Could have been the other way to do it. Obviously, we like Love, we like Dak, we like Daniels. I think all probably better fantasy, options year wide. But to get the stack with Brock Purdy, knowing hey, we got Ayuk and CMC. That does feel important to me. But I don't know what other direction could we have gone there.
I mean, we probably could. I mean, we could have gone one more receiver, like Josh Palmer was right there, right? Just kind of giving it some more options that in case Brian Thomas takes a little while to get going, we've got 2 other options behind him that we know are may not be in the best situations, but we know that they're going to be on the field right away. And when I say right away, I mean like all the time. Other than that, though, I get the running back talk, but we do kind of have like 2 workhorses already with James Conner and McCaffrey that I didn't think we necessarily needed to push a 3rd right away. But there is something to be said, though, that like if the best player available at that point was a running back, just take the best player, right? So.
And I do think that's a difference. I think I am much higher than you on Tyjae Spears. And I think that
my exposures would say differently,
but for me, I'm comfortable reaching down there for Tyjae Spears, where I think you'd rather wait for the value to come to you more.
Yes,
which I think is a little bit different, where you were kind of like, oh, those are your options. Like what? I don't know necessarily about that. JJ, I'm on Chase. Who do you like out of the rank those three?
Oh
OPPR.
man. I would probably go Jefferson. I would go Jefferson, Chase, Amon-Ra, because I think the last two is where it can be switched around. I think if people want more consistency, more of the safe option, they would go St. Brown and then Chase. I like Chase's, week to week upside, because I know that Chase can give me 30 in a given week. Like we've seen that before. Amon-Ra, he may hit that once or twice, but I know that Chase can get that 4 or 5 times, right? So it honestly depends what you value more. Do you want the consistency? Do you want the do you want the safety? And personally, I lean Chase more than St. Brown, but that's not to say that like we literally, spoiler alert, we've got an episode coming out tomorrow. It's a little bit of a mock draft episode. So if you're not subscribed to like our audio podcast over on Spotify, Apple Music, or like here on YouTube,
shoot, we got a pick and one pick. Sorry to cut you off. I didn't realize where we were at. That flew back around to us. Where do we want to go here now?
Rico Dowdle.
Oh, yeah.
My guy, Rico.
Ty can't leave his draft. Now
Dude,
you said it, though.
I got to get a Rico.
Oh, that scared me for a second. Everything moved. I was
like, where'd he go?
They sniped us. Do we still want a wide receiver here?
I kind of like Brandon Cooks here.
You do. I like Judy, but I'll let you decide. Do we go double Dallas?
I think we go double Dallas.
All right. I don't hate it. Judy's a personal one for me, right? So I don't feel like I actually have a real argument to say Judy over Cooks, because that's more just me personally holding on to Jerry Judy after Lucas talked us into him last year. But yeah, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was all of a sudden looked at our draft and I was like, holy crap.
I was not paying attention at all. Tyler, what's going on? What's good, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. Yes, I kind of low key forgot where I was at.
You were talking about our draft. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Right. There it is. Right. Because we were talking about JJ, Amon-Ra, and Chase. I decided to just play the safety route and went Amon-Ra with Chase available. I think it turned out pretty well for me.
Yep.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but like toot, like we dominated that draft. So it really is your preference for the last two, but I think all three fellas would say that Jefferson is still just a little ahead of the other two guys.
For sure. And I think there's a lot of people who can't stomach having Sam Darnold as the quarterback of your wide receiver one. I understand that. Like they're close enough where if you're in that spot and you wouldn't forgive yourself if Darnold came out and was awful, then go Chase or Amon-Ra, right? I think they're close enough that you can. Us three personally, we're just like we believe enough in Sam Darnold and enough in more so in Justin Jefferson and KOC.
There it is.
That it's going to be fine for fantasy, from a fantasy perspective. CMC still number one, Ty?
Do you want to scroll up real quick?
Oh, I got to go to my other computer. Right there, 101 under the fella's name. You bet.
Yes. Look, you can look at all the data points to say, like, aging running back, coming off being the leader in touches among skill positions, all that stuff. Don't care, because the payoff is the number one position player in all of fantasy, right? Like and maybe like CD and Tyree can outscore him this year, but at the running back position, it's unmatched.
Yeah, the cliff for the running backs is so much greater than it is for the wide receivers, just because there really isn't that many true workhorse running backs right now in the NFL. So Ty, we got one more question.
We got one more. What do you suggest in the first 2 rounds? I have the 5th pick at a 10-man half PPR. Well, 5th pick, definitely target Bijan or Breece right away.
You think over a JJ, Jamar, Amon-Ra?
Just because it's half PPR.
Oh, half PPR. Okay, I see. I feel you.
On the turnaround, maybe. I mean, I feel like, you know what? We will come back to this question, because I think there's there's a discussion in how you start. Do you go running back, wide receiver, or do you go wide receiver, running back? Just because you are in a 10-man, so there is a chance that you're going to get a running back to come back to you in the second round. But we'll come back to it in just a second,
for sure.
Just because we didn't necessarily fumble the last pick, but we were caught off guard.
So what direction do we go here? Are you looking like tight end at all? Because we only got one, or we got Mark Andrews.
It's
last
Mark
pick
Andrews.
of the. Yep, that's where I'm at. Wide receiver, running back. I know you like Dobbins. Is Dobbins a pick here that you like?
I don't mind it. Just getting another viable option. Yeah, it may not be the greatest. You're not going to bank a whole lot on him, but
do we add to our Baltimore stack? Is there someone else you like a wide receiver?
Gosh, I think Bateman. Probably, yeah. Sorry.
Oh no, I wasn't fast enough.
All right. Well, I mean,
Hawk's not a bad backup though. So Hawks, these 20-second clocks kill me on the stream because we can't talk back and forth on it.
So do you want to know the hack that you should do?
Cue it
Instead of trying to click on their name and then click on draft, just hit the star.
Oh, and cue it up.
So then if we do get autoed,
I'm a rookie.
Hey,
what am I doing?
Hey, we're learning.
Why am I in charge? Who put me in charge? It's brutal.
That's what Lucas does.
I'm bad for the brand. But no, so Hawkinson's my usual pick there when I take an early guy, because I understand that guy I'm expecting to start at all times. But then Hawkinson, if he comes in and is good by week 8, I got 2 probably top 7 tight ends, right? Battling out for the rest of the season. Understanding Sam Darnold's a quarterback, more than likely going to throw to the tight end position, as quarterbacks do, who struggle more than like a top end guy.
They want to get the ball out quick, all that stuff.
To a target they can trust, right? Big target. But yeah, let's head back to Aiden's question here. So you got the 5th pick. And like you said, it is difficult because you can go Bijan and Brees, but your wide receivers then on the come around don't feel quite as glamorous, I think we can say. So that is the question: is do you think you can get a wide receiver? Are you okay with taking a Drake London? It is a 10-man, right? So you're going to have it pushed a little farther down. So maybe you get in that Devontae Adams range, which we've talked about is still a little risky taking Devontae Adams at his current age with his quarterback situation. But I don't know, Ty. You kind of were right on the take Bijan or Brees. Do you still think that even after having a little time to think on it, or do you think which way do you lean?
I just what running back can give you top 3 upside in the second round? I don't think there is, versus wide receivers. I guess
maybe not top 3, but it's more comparable. Like a top 10 wide receiver means a lot more than a top 10 running back, I think, at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of looking at just kind of ADP right now, right? And just half PPR and 10-man. Right in the middle in the 5th pick, you're kind of looking at Jamar, Bijan, Brees, and Jefferson if pick 4 doesn't take Jefferson, right? And then in the second round, there's a chance the 4 guys you're probably looking at, kind of hoping come back to you, are Puka, Kyron, Marvin Harrison, ETN.
For sure.
So in that scenario, I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world if, let's say, you do take a Brees or Bijan, that you take a Kyron or ETN then in the second, just because I think those are the guys that are going to just score more than Marvin, Puka, even if let's say the injury lingers for Puka, right? Like I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world to go double running back in that scenario.
For sure. All right, we got a couple picks now. Are we looking to Marcus Robinson?
Oh, heck yeah, dude. If man,
having the NFC West.
Do you want to hear my exposure on DeMarcus Robinson this year?
Oh, it's gotta be like 95%. Something just
No, I'm not one of those guys that I'm not hit with gritty. 33%.
Oh, Tyler.
My highest drafted player this year.
I knew, and you're in enough drafts where that's a considerable amount
That is
of
so
money put on it, even if
so
that's
that's
$3
30
drafts.
So 33% Demarcus Robinson, 31% Jaleel McLaughlin. The next
Ooh.
highest is Tyjae Spears at 20%.
Wow, look at you.
What
a man. Madman.
I
Who's
feel
our
like I
second
need to be
pick here?
checked.
Do we try and go Dortch?
I wonder. Let's take a look at running back quick. Just who's available. I don't mind Bucky Irving here, to be completely honest with you.
We did it. Did you see that? I used the
That
stars. I
was
queued it up. I didn't waste the time. You had me down to the
attaboy.
wire, Ty. You're not giving me
Sorry.
any time to make these picks.
I
You're
know.
sitting here. Oh, he's only got 7 seconds. Let me drag this sucker out. Like, come
My
on.
bad.
I need a little help here.
No, so with Demarcus Robinson, like, this is where the real like stat nerds come out, like myself. The Rams run 3 wide receiver sets at the highest rate, or ran it at the highest rate last year among NFL teams. Demarcus Robinson's wide receiver 3. And there were 4 games at the end of the season before he sat week 18. I think that's how it was. He scored no less than 13 fantasy points. Name me one player in that range that can give me that many performances, let alone just one, right?
For sure.
That's what it comes down to for me. For Bucky Irving, that is just kind of a like what if scenario.
Mm-hmm.
What if the Bucs brought in Bucky Irving because they don't think Rachaad White can handle another 270 carry season, right? Like, yeah, Rachaad White could be still getting 50, 60 receptions. But what if Bucky Irving takes, a considerable number of carries away? That Rachaad White's probably closer to 200. And again, we're hypothesizing here. We're kind of taking a guess. There's no sure thing with like, right. Like it's a dart throw.
Yep. Real quick with Kevin, Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown. I'm pretty sure we're both AJ Brown.
Yeah.
It's close. I don't say that like, oh, this isn't a close question. Like, I think it is very close. I just personally
it is
am AJ Brown there.
Yeah, it's very close. I think for me, it comes down to, are you going to target Jalen Hurts later or not? Typically, when I take an AJ Brown, I'm targeting Jalen Hurts because I know that stack I can attain. Like, that is a very easy stack to get. Otherwise, if you don't think you're going to be able to get Jalen Hurts because you know that someone in your draft like is an Eagles fan and they're drafting like way before you, you're probably not going to get a Jalen Hurts. So you might want to go Garrett Wilson then.
For sure. First pick, 10-team PPR, CM, Devontae, and Josh Allen. I like Devontae there, actually. I like him with about the 20th pick. I think that feels pretty appropriate from Josh Allen. I personally don't love taking quarterback on the turn. However, I can acknowledge that Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, taking either of those too early, they're going to pay off on ADP. I personally like the way my team feels when I don't take quarterback, but they're going to get you between 22 and 25 fantasy points, per game for the rest of the season. So it's kind of like it's justified in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty on point with ADP too. Like maybe the Allen pick was a little ahead of ADP, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. Especially like if you're just trying to get just guys that are going to score the most points. Like I don't mind Josh Allen there, and I think there's ways that you can build around that. So
for sure,
it's probably holy goodness.
What do we want? Wide receiver, running back. I feel like wide receiver probably.
Yeah.
Do we take our guy Javon?
In honor of the birthday boy, because it's Lucas's birthday today.
Oh, we got auto picked. All right. Next pick. Oh, Darnold.
Damn, that's not bad.
Well,
let's go Javon here. Let's go Javon here. Just for Lucas. Shout out to Lucas. Happy birthday, buddy. You are welcome.
I'm just gonna let it auto pick on Javon.
Yep.
Tyler, We're ridiculous. How do we continue to get auto picked when we're doing a live draft?
Because I had no idea that we were.
We need like an alert.
Clock.
You
Yeah,
have
seriously.
3 picks. You have 3 picks.
Do we have
need
two
the chat
quarterbacks
to
in
help
week
us
6
out.
buys
You guys
now?
got to let us know.
Do we have a? Oh no, Purdy's week 9. Okay, I was like, oh geez, okay.
No, we're doing all right on the bye weeks. Actually,
yeah, we are. We're good. We are very good.
Which usually, I'm gonna admit, I'm a sucker for always liking guys on the same bye week. That's my crutch. It's brutal. Doesn't help me at all, but it hurts.
Big Fat Sigma, draft us tomorrow.
Good luck.
What pick are you picking at? Good luck, first of all. What pick are you picking from? Do you know how many people are in your league? Let's help you win a championship.
Yep. I mean, we've done enough mocks. We've got to pick, someone has picked from each one of our picks moving forward. So yeah, for sure.
We're coming up on the last round, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. 18th pick.
Oh, man.
Flown through this tie.
I almost kind of threw out a Justice Hill pick, but it is what it is.
Got scared away.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's an 8-man.
It's an 8-man.
It's an 8-man. Prioritize stars. Yeah. No, it's
get the big guys.
Yep. That's what an 8-man, that's where you trade depth for studs, because you need the studs, because everyone's gonna have a stacked team, right? Unless you got
second pick. Go get the studs.
Yeah, no, I mean,
get the studs.
I say take CMC if he's there. Otherwise, you take your favorite between Tyreek and CD. If you're worried about the CD contract, take Tyreek and don't think about it, right? I think they're close enough where if you're worried about it, give Tyreek the edge. All righty. We're not going to get auto picked on our last pick here, Ty. So where do we want to go? 7 wide receivers, 5 running backs, 2 tight ends, and 2 QB. No, wait. I was reading the wrong thing. 3 QBs, 5 running backs, 7 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends.
Let's just kind of go up to the top of the board and just see what's fallen.
Nothing pretty.
No, it's the last round. I mean, do we go tight end just to cover our bases a little bit until Hawkinson comes back?
Who do you like, though? I mean,
hit tight end for me. Go up to the top.
I am at the top. That's the top. That's it.
And fifth guy down, buddy.
That is so disgusting.
You know me.
That is so.
You know me. It's Zach Ertz, baby.
This pains me to do. Like, man, you're lucky both those Giants I guess who wants a Giants wide receiver? I mean, I think personally, like, Brandon Powell is a better pick, and I just scrolled down and randomly landed on it. But you know what? We'll take it. They just. Man. I hate how fast they log you out. They're like, all right, you're done.
Puppy 3 there.
Puppy 3. There's only one. All right. Here's the squad. We can look at the full draft. We are over here at the 101. We can recap it quick. Started Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, then Brandon Ayuk to get that San Francisco stack. Little NFC West correlation going on there. We like that. Sure. Couldn't pass up a Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews stack when it presented itself at the turn. That for us is like, oh, you're going to leave us Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews on the turn? Auto pick. I mean, I feel like we're both in that same spot there, Ty. James Conner to get that Rams Cardinals week 17 correlation. Brian Thomas, because I didn't let Ty pick the guy he wanted. So that's why we went Brian Thomas there. Cortland Sutton, we reached a little on Brock Purdy to ensure that 49er stack. It would have been interesting to see if he makes it back. It doesn't look like it because Caleb, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, and Tua all went off the board before getting back to us, so probably would have been pretty close. Then we double up on Cowboys. Ty got his way here after I took my Brian Thomas, taking Rico Dowdle, Brandon Cooks, and he got his J.K. Dobbins. Then we kind of stalled out a little, got auto-picked on a T.J. Hawkinson, but we don't care. We were happy with that. That's a pick I make a lot. Ty got DeMarcus Robinson because he can't leave a draft without him. Then we took Bucky Irving, got auto-picked again on Sam Darnold. See, Underdog just knows they're auto-picking stacks for us. That's how good they are. Then we went Javon Baker in honor of Lucas, the birthday boy today. And we finished with Ty's favorite player in all of fantasy football, one of my guys, Zach Ertz.
Whoa. Whoa. I don't think I was going to go that far.
Ty said he has top 5 upside this year.
No,
Zach
I might just leave real quick.
He said he'd give a follower $10,000 if Zach Ertz is in top 5 this year. That's how confident he is.
No, let's just go back to questions here. Hard turn. Kyron Williams or Isaiah Pacheco. Man, I like me some Pacheco, but Kyron's the
I think Kyron's the right pick as well.
Do you think CMC Adams and Debo is better? Just kind of looking at ADP, Debo would have been more of a reach than Josh Allen. So I personally would have gone with a guy like Mike Evans instead.
Personally, I like Debo over Josh Allen, but in that spot,
ADP is tough.
I do prefer going to wide receiver and a running back to start if I'm within the first 3 picks.
Grace 12-team dynasty PPO.
Question.
Oh, we like some dynasty. Is Lamb, Burrow, Jacobs, and Kittle a good team?
Lamb and Burrow is a pretty hot start. Jacobs, I'm a little more out on. He's a guy I would look to trade right now in dynasty. Going to a new team, being 20, he's later 26, so he's good. He's still got good value. People, he's still got years ahead of him. But you'd rather be early on getting out on running backs, right? You don't want to be there when the cliff hits because otherwise, you're holding the bag kind of like an Austin Eckler, right? Where all of a sudden it's like, Austin Eckler went from like a top 12, dynasty running back last year to he's barely in the top 60 this year as dynasty running back. So not saying that's happening to Josh Jacobs. Do not hear what I'm not saying. But that's why we say you'd rather be a year early than a year late on a running back, trading them.
Absolutely.
Kittle's always a wild card. He's kind of fun to have on your team, but at the same time, it's kind of not fun to have on your team because he could drop you 40 points one your week, but he could also give you 3 points 3 weeks in a row.
As a George Kittle manager in our dynasty league, you get kind of frustrated with the guy because there's really no way of predicting what is going to be a George Kittle week, but you just kind of have to keep him in because if you take him out and he hits, you look like an absolute fool. So you just got to take the bad with the good.
Yes, definitely. Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us again. It's been a pleasure doing these mock drafts. I think we have 2 weeks left, so 2 Monday mock draft Mondays left before the draft. Lucas will be on, of course, Wednesday this week. I think he's technically got 3 more since he's got 1 more this week. But the season's coming up quick. If you're trying to get ready for your home league, make sure you're subscribed to the pod. That's a great place. We drop mock draft every Monday or every Tuesday. Short form content we got coming every single week. Obviously joining the streams like you every day. What am I just cannot speak it all tonight. We got the streams. Keep watching those. Draft guide essential. Of course, 2 ways to get that. Link in our bio, fellasdraftguide.com, or sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Use the code fellas when you do. You'll get our draft guide for free with that, and up to $10,000 in bonus money and a free square. Or not. Why am I so
off? Man.
10,000 would be nuts. 1,000 is pretty good. But yeah, that is all for us tonight. Ty, anything to add before we log off?
We know that your drafts are coming up because ours are as well. So whatever questions we didn't get to, whatever questions you think of during the week, you can ask us on Twitter. Or even better, if you want a copy of our draft guide, you can enter our draft guide giveaway. Okay. You can ask that question in the YouTube comment section of our most recent podcast episode that's going up on our Fantasy Football Fellas YouTube channel. We post our shorts on the Fantasy Football Fellas Shorts channel. So ask your question or just make a random comment on our most recent video. We have a new video coming out tomorrow. So the giveaway restarts tomorrow. So make sure that you're tuning into that. But if you want a more direct answer, you want a quicker answer from us, follow us on Twitter and ask us on Twitter. You can follow Cam at CamLawFFF. You can follow me, Tyler_Plath. You can follow Lucas at Lucas Wenzel. Hey, if you do follow Lucas for whatever reason right now, go wish him a happy birthday. The guy is getting older right in front of our very eyes. So, yeah, that's the easiest way to get your answers questioned. Oh my, we can't talk. I can't talk either. To get your questions answered. Trent, real quick, in a keeper league, I kept CD. I got the 4th pick, and I think Barkley, Jefferson, Chase, or even Brees will be on the table. Where do I go? It's a 10-team. 4th pick, I think you would say Jefferson.
I'd probably go Brees there just because you already got a top wide receiver.
Oh.
You go Brees, but I'd go. I think it's Jefferson, Chase, or Brees. I don't think Barkley's in that conversation, and I don't think you can go wrong. It just depends. Would you rather start with 2 wide receivers, or would you rather go 1 wide receiver, 1 running back? And obviously, it depends who's still on the who's been kept. Like if all the top running backs are gone, probably go Brees. You only got a couple. Most of the top wide receivers are gone. Go Jefferson or Chase. So that's the way I would go with that.
Yeah. Alrighty, y'all. Again, any questions that you got, you can find us on YouTube, drop into the comments, follow us on Twitter, or as they call it, X now. Way to go, Elon. What a great name that is. Missing anything else?
No, I think we're good.
I think we're good. I think that's it.
Check out the pod dropping tomorrow. We will see you guys later this week. Deuces.
See y'all.